Hi everyone, it's Todd Hazelwood here from the Matt Stone Racing team, driven by Truck Assist, and this is my round one preview for this year's Supercars Championship. We're here at Sydney. I'm here in my hotel room, and we're getting ready for action. It's meant to be two 300k races under lights this weekend, so obviously a really cool and exciting way to start our championship. Obviously, we've been chomping at the bit to get to this point of the championship and get underway. For me, super excited to be rejoining with the team MSR. Obviously had huge history with them, working with them for over 6 years, back from 2014 up until 2019. So to now be back with the crew again, a lot of familiar faces, very family orientated, and obviously there's a fair level of unfinished business for us all as well. So for us, yeah, we're all super excited. We're prepared and ready for the challenge ahead. We've come off a test day a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, for some of you would have seen our new livery, our new colours for the year, obviously being heavily supported by Truck Assist, and very thankful for everyone for all their support from our partners, our sponsors, and our membership program. Simply cannot thank you all enough for joining my program for this year and fueling my Supercars dream for the future. I'm super pumped for this year, as I mentioned. Really want to push hard to obviously get the team's very first podium this season. That's certainly my goal, and I still want to obviously pushing hard to achieve my very first win in Supercars Championship as well. So plenty of motivation there, and keen to get this year's championship underway. Obviously, the big thing at the moment in our country is they've been absolutely hammered by rain. I was up in Brisbane last week. The team were very lucky to get out of the workshop safely and obviously make the trip down to Sydney. And now that rain has started to follow us, and I think we're predicting around 150 to 200 mil of rain here today in Sydney. So trying to play it safe, and obviously, firstly and foremost, for those people that have been affected by the devastating flash flooding and rain, really my heart is with you at the moment, and hope you stay safe. So part of me feels guilty that we are racing this weekend because it's devastating scenes around the country, and it's never nice, and wish I could help more, to be honest. So please stay safe, everyone. As I mentioned, for us, we've got two 300k races. If it is wet, obviously tyre management with the wet tyre is going to be key, and making sure that we essentially keep the car on the island. But for me personally, I think if it does rain, I think that's a really good opportunity. I always seem to go really well in the wet, and last year proved that. The last wet race that we had here was comfortably inside the top 10 in the top 5, and then we qualified third on Sunday that next morning before the race was canned due to the flash flooding. So either way, if it does rain, we'll be ready, and if not, the track record here for me has been really good in the past. I got a round one here in Formula 3 back in 2013 when I first raced here. Got my first Supercars podium back in 2020, and we had multiple top 5 finishes here last year as well. So for me, it's a track that I always go well at, which I'm excited about. The team at MSR, they see this as a bit of a bogey track for them in the last couple of seasons. So working with Jack LeBrock, my teammate this year, we'll be pushing hard to ensure that we can change that mentality and have a strong weekend here. Keen to see what we can achieve and do, and hopefully we can have two Truck Assist cars towards the pointy end of the field fighting for that podium, as I mentioned. So that'd be great. The other key thing for this weekend, if it's dry, and I say that because obviously there's a lot of rain around, but it is meant to be a 2 tyre, what we call it, like a 2 different compound of tyre format weekend. So we've got the super soft tyre, which is different super soft to last year. This tyre is softer and degrades harder. We haven't actually tested that yet. That's the advice we've given from Supercars, that it is meant to degrade harder, and then using the soft tyre. So between the soft tyre and the super soft tyre, we only get 2 sets of super soft tyres for the whole weekend. So predominantly a lot of the running will be done on the actual soft tyre for qualifying, and then it's a strategy. Do you want to start on a really grippy tyre at the start of the race or finish it at the end? Or you might want to run it in the middle. So for us, we haven't actually ran a 300k race for a long time. So it really opens up the strategy. It potentially becomes either a 2-stop or a 3-stop pit stop. Now, the minimum is 2 pit stops, but with the high levels of tyre degradation around here, we may be more inclined to actually go to a 3-stop strategy, open it up a little bit more. We're running on fresh rubber, but obviously you have to count in the fact that you have to do a whole pit stop. So you have to essentially make up around 40 seconds on the field based on that extra pit stop. But with tyre degradation being around 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap, 77 lap races, it's going to be really interesting, I think. So if it is a dry race, I think we're going to be in for some entertaining racing this weekend, which would be great. And as I said, just can't wait to get the whole championship on the way. It's going to be awesome. So as I said, it's going to be an interesting weekend. Fingers crossed the rain doesn't affect our program. It's been, I tell you what, it's been a really tough couple of years for Supercars, and we've been working behind the scenes really hard to put the sport back in lights where it belongs and try to start this year off with a bang. And then obviously COVID affected us trying to get to Newcastle, and now the threat of rain is surrounding us. So it hasn't been ideal, but we'll keep pushing through. Really appreciate everyone's patience and also support with that along the way. Obviously it hasn't been ideal, as I mentioned, but we're trying to do everything we can as a sport to keep the program alive. And either way, we'll have cars on track. So thank you very much for everyone. Appreciate you tuning in, and make sure you watch out for car 35 this weekend, Truck Assist Racing, driven by Matt Stone Racing. Thanks, guys. Cheers.